Hello, just me again, back with another piece today. And today I will be discussing about Transformers 4, the upcoming sequel to Transformers Dark of the Moon, which was a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? I think it was 2011. Yes. I'll be just talking about it generally today, discussing my thoughts on it and the rumours that I've heard flying around about it. So, just to give some background, as you all know, the Transformers live-action trilogy of movies happened over a few years ago now, and even before the third movie had finished being in the cinemas, there was already rumours that Hasbro, the toy-making brand that owns the Transformers logo, the universe, the merchandise, everything to do with it. They were keen to have another live action movie which makes pure sense because honestly, that Transformers live action movies, love them or hate them, they have brought Transformers back into the public mindset. They have got the name going around. They practically launched Transformers Animated, Prime, all of the most recent outings of the Transformers universe, probably despite how confusing it is to all the new fans trying to work out all the continuity. Hell, I still have problems working out which series, which comic book timeline goes with which TV series. It could get confusing because there's so much background, and that always happens with extended universes like Transformers, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. It can get confusing when there's so much of it. But anyway, going back to it. So they were keen to have Transformers 4. And right from the start, as soon as Transformers 3 had finished, I sat back and I had a careful think. So what's happened? You've destroyed really the villain faction. Megatron, Starscream, the Fallen, who was like the mentor for the entire Decepticon cause in this trilogy, most of the powerful Decepticons, including Devastator of the Constructicons, they're all dead. They're all gone. Then you've got Cybertron, which is the homeworld of the Transformers. That's been destroyed. Totally and completely obliterated. And even if it's not mostly destroyed, even if half or a quarter of the planet still survived, it's only like small quarter half of it. I had similar thoughts actually after Transformers 1 aired, because they killed enough Megatron and they destroyed the Allspark, which is the generator of the new souls of new Transformers. And as soon as the Allspark was destroyed and that first movie was gone, I couldn't help but think, my God, you guys have slightly written yourself into the hole here. I knew there was bits remaining of the Allspark, and I saw a mile off when they had that little bit that they would use it in some way, and there was potential that the Allspark could regenerate. But going back to that, just progressively, after the first one, after the second one, and definitely after the third one, you saw most of the main villain faction destroyed, the homeworld destroyed, numerous Autobots like Jazz, Ironhide, dead as well. So you've only got some of the main good characters left, and potentially some of the potentially only a few of the villains left. I mean, from the G1 continuality, which was the first season, you do have lots of Decepticons they still haven't brought in. But Decepticons like the Combaticons, the Predacons, which was the other ones, the Stunticons, all of them, as popular as they are within the fandom and as well known, they aren't so well known outside of the fandom. Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream, those are the Decepticons that, even if you had a passing remembrance of Transformers, etc., those are the Decepticons you remembered. And now they're gone. Unless they do what they did with Transformers 2 and just do a resurrection thing with the Allspark, which would just cheapen the entire fact of their deaths in the other movies. Where do they go from here? So moving on to Transformers 4, they're keeping a tight lid on the second, which is understandable. Like I said, they pretty much decimated what they had by the end of the third one. They left it pretty much finale. So where do they go from here? So it's understandable that they are keeping a tight lid on it. I did see an interesting rumor, which I think a lot of people did see. What it was going, the potential plot for the fourth one was going to be that in the aftermaths of the Dark of the Moon situation, a few years on, Autobots and Decepticons most disappeared. Humans are collecting all the old technology and they're pushing the boundaries of their science. So kind of like they're going to do some just like some sort of Gundam sort of mecha suit things, their own humans piloting giant robots sort of thing in their own transforming form. And the other part of the plot synopsis is, meanwhile, a threat from the Transformers past darkens, targeting the Earth. Wait, something like Unicron then. And actually, when I saw this thing for the humans using the Decepticon and Autobot transformer technology to make their own robots, I thought, perhaps we shall see the return of the Headmasters and the Target Masters. They were from the last season, the small 3-part season of the G1 cartoon, in which humans wore their own transforming bodies, and they were able to transform into the heads of certain Transformers, or into the guns. Sorry, not really humans, more humanoids. It was aliens that did it, but they're human aliens. They're just green skin. And, but they transformed into the weapons and the heads of certain Transformers. I thought that might be what they were going to do with this new idea. Since then, however, that plot synopsis, that plot idea has been refuted. So God knows. Maybe it was leaked. Maybe it is still true. Maybe when it comes out in a couple of years' time, we shall see that this is just like a panic thing that they did to hide the fact that this was what they were going to do. But yeah, speaking of my personal thoughts on it, I'm not entirely sure where they can go from here. Like I said, they destroyed the main villain faction, and they've destroyed the home planet. I mean, destroying the home planet, there was lots of, if they kept it, there was lots of potential that they could awaken other Decepticons or other Autobots from the planet. There was the potential to actually use that as a jump-off point for a new trilogy. But no, they decimated it. And it's really for, I know it's ramping up the stakes, but it strikes me as for no reason, really. But anyway, where could they go? Speaking about the resurrection thing again, there was rumours that where if they resurrected Megatron in the second movie, the Revenge of the Fallen, that he was going to be turned into Galvatron, which he was when he was resurrected in the animated Transformers movie back in 1986. And they could potentially do it here. This evil threat from Transformers past, if it is going to be still used, I could see that as how they could spin a new trilogy of movies. Unicron, which is the old threat, which I think must be the old threat. I mean, there's the Quintessons as well. But either one, if the Quintessons or Unicron were the ancient threat they're speaking of, either one of them could potentially take Megatron's corpse and the other corpses of the other villains and make the new wave of villains and heroes that they had in the second part of the G1 cartoon, because this Megatron became Galvatron. He had his right hand man Cyclonus, Scourge in his sweeps. You could have the Predacons as well. And then you had Rodimus Prime took over from Optimus Prime. You had Ultra Magnus, Blur, Cup, RC. Although you have had RC already, actually, thinking about it, in the first lot of movies. And God knows what happened to her. No, she kind of got sidelined. It disappeared after the second one, unless I'm confused and mistaken. But yeah, anyway, that's potentially what they could do to make this new trilogy of movies. I mean, I'm not sure if they could stretch that into a full trilogy. Maybe. Yeah, they'd have to be very careful. I know they are being very careful of so, yeah. But anyway, I'm hopefully that's just enlightened you about my thoughts about the potential upcoming Transformers thing. I haven't necessarily been the biggest fan of the Transformers movies after the first live action one they did. Even the first one had some problems with it, but especially second and third were not up to expectations. And I'm hoping that they will go back to the drawing board with number 4. I mean, there's rumours that it will be a prequel. I'm hoping not, because to my mind, prequels are good, but you always know what's going to happen in the future. So even when I'm watching something, if it's a prequel, in the back of my head I'll be going, "Oh, I know you're going to survive. No need for this life-threatening situation. Oh, I know you're gonna die, etc." Sorry, that makes it sound rather bland, and sorry that makes it sound not bland. Sorry that makes it sound rather dismissive. But that's literally what I think when it's a prequel. It's not as exciting at times to me. Although it does give you backstory, which I love. Of personally, if they want to do a new trilogy, this may sound really harsh, but maybe they should do a Spider-Man 4 on it. Maybe they should reboot it again. Whole new take, whole new story. Do the Ark thing from season 1. The Autobot ship, the Ark, coming towards Earth, crash landing, Autobots awaken, Decepticons awaken, bring back in the Combiner teams, bring in the Dinobots. Seriously, nothing would make me happier if they did justice to the Dinobots and brought them in. I know there's a great amount of fan worry about not doing justice to the Dinobots. I know a number of people that were glad that Michael Bay didn't put them in the first trilogy of movies. But if they were to have the Dinobots and they did justice to them, that would make it for me. I could be very happy. But then that's just me, and that's my thoughts. I'm very easy to please. Okay, so I think I've talked enough about that today, and hopefully that's given you some of my thoughts on it. Okay, peace out.